Thanks for stopping by. I'm Jerrel from Sungrand, the developer of the Silver Falls games. Today, I'll be sharing with you my tips and tricks and a bit of a guide on getting started with Frontier Hunters mode, and that is in our Wii U exclusive Silver Falls White Inside Its Umbra. I'll go ahead and get started on Frontier Hunters mode. So in this video, I'll be sharing some insight onto the mechanics of Frontier Hunters mode and how to get the best out of your characters and weapons. When you're first starting out the game, this video will help you get started on developing your characters and weapons in an efficient way that'll help you get the most out of completing missions efficiently and getting better reward. So, I'll be using the nice classic Wii remote with Motion Plus built in. Doesn't really need the Motion Plus, it's just nice to have that. So, I've actually had a bit of progress on my characters so far, and I have some unlocked there. Now you can see with Bjorna, the main character of the game, I have enhanced her health and the shooting one level each. So that is that makes a pretty big difference to the health. I'd like to get some more experience and increase my shooting a bit more. Bjorna is a good balanced character to start out with, and that is mainly because her pistol and her shotgun are balanced and good, and the pistol's quite good. Early on, because every character starts with a pistol, it's good to use a character who has proficiency with the pistol. Her main drawback is with the SMG, so she'll be using the SMG defensively, and I'll explain that a bit more in a little bit. Dodger's a good character to use as well, as he has 130% on the pistol, 90% on shotgun, and not great on the SMG as well. Let's see. Now, Winnie's a great character to start out with, but Winnie is a great character if you yourself have good reflexes in terms of reacting to the enemies that are on screen, and that is because her pistol, shotgun, rifle, and SMG are all above average. That's great. So she has massive damage output, but her main drawback is her elemental weapons, her bow. They're not going to be good weapons for her. Brownow is a pretty good character for elemental attacks. So his elemental weapons, you can see his fire and ice are at 110, and his electric is at 125. In terms of the firearms, they're not as good as his elemental stats, but his SMG is at 90%, which is higher than Bjorna and Dodger. We've got some other characters here that have been introduced as playable characters through the Code Linker system. We ran a contest a couple days ago, and winners were able to receive Maverick Demoose as a playable character. If you check out your enhanced stats as well, your aiming actually affects how responsive the Wii Remote is. So as you enhance your aiming stat, you'll find that the Wii Remote becomes more responsive. Let's see here. Oh no. Maverick's aiming stat is not very good. It's at 6 or 7, so that's a bit sluggish. So I would personally recommend Bjorna is probably going to be your best and most balanced character first starting out. But if you are pretty good with aiming quickly, then I would recommend going Winnie, because she does have great stats on the firearms. So when you first start out in Frontier Hunters, you're going to have some pretty basic equipment. Generally, you're going to have a pistol, a shotgun, and an SMG. I'm actually going to switch back to Bjorna. And the reason why I recommend a particular loadout for starting out is it's a good way to deal with enemies. So I'll just remove the weapons that I've already have equipped. So I have my pistol on one slot. You have the deer rifle. So for Bjorna, she's got 100% or 110% on the rifle. So I'm going to put that on my down slot. You can put the weapons in whatever slot that you would like. And the ammo eater, I will put that on my right slot. Now, generally you want to use your rifle and shotgun because they're quite slow. You want to use those on the bigger enemies that have high HP. Your pistol is a great utility weapon because it generally has quite balanced damage output, and it usually has pretty good clip size, and that's the amount of rounds you can hold in that weapon. If I go to upgrade, you can see that the SMG, I've selected the SMG here. The damage is quite low, but the capacity is high, which is quite nice. Now on my rifle, I've selected my rifle here. You can see the damage is nice and high. Capacity is actually quite decent as well, and the crit rate's pretty good. So it's the reload rate that's a little bit high on that weapon. And the damage on the pistol is quite good as well, and a decent capacity. So this is my recommended loadout when you're first starting out. Your pistol is a good all-rounder weapon. You can use that to deal with medium-sized enemies and even your larger enemies if you have enough loaded into your pistol. Again, I usually save my rifle for the larger enemies like the stag and the bear, the ones that have the big amount of HP. And the SMG is very good for dealing with snipers. The snipers will shoot those balls of goo at you, and the snipers can be pretty hard to hit, but they have low HP. So I usually use the SMG as a defensive weapon to deal with snipers. And you also want to aim for the tumors on the enemies. If you shoot the tumors on the mutated animals, that builds up your special attack energy. And then I'll show an example of that when we start the mission. Let's have a look at our skill wheel here. Now this is pretty much a freebie here. You can get these two skills because as you start out, I'll just equip that and I'll remove that. You'll start out with some of these basic skill spokes. And when you use your skill spokes, you gotta intersect with these skill nodes, and that will allow you to activate those skills. So these are pretty good. Having that extra crit rate on the pistol is very nice. I had earned a skill spoke previously while I was playing, so Twinsies is a pretty nice skill, but it's really only benefits if you are playing multiplayer. So in solo player, it doesn't really help that much. And special power boosts the power of special attacks by 50%. So Frontier Hunters is designed to be quite difficult early on because I want to encourage people to ask their friends and family for help. So if you have a tough time getting people around to help you and to play Frontier Hunters with you, you can just turn on another Wii remote, and that will log in a second character for you. And if you get them to join the mission, I'll just start a mission now. We'll do the first mission, and the first mission is quite good in the sense that you can keep replaying it, and eventually after you've leveled up some stats, you will be able to complete that mission on your own, and you no longer need someone to help you. But the reason I'm logging in with the second Wii remote, it's very difficult to actually use too, because they're so involved with the controls on the Wii remote. I'm actually going to set down the second Wii remote, and you can use a second, third, or fourth character as a meat shield. The enemies might attack your party members instead, which saves you from taking some damage. And I designed the game that way because I knew not everyone would be able to get people to play Frontier Hunters with them. So when you're first starting out, I would recommend, if you're having a tough time with the first stage, there's a neat trick there for you. Now, it's going to be a bit difficult to show you the gamepad here, but the gamepad player can level up their own stats. They can level up the maximum amount of ammo that they can carry, and they can also level up their rounds per reload, so the RPR. So every time you reload another player's ammunition during the level, you can increase the amount of ammunition that goes into the weapon every time you drag and drop ammunition, which is quite useful. You can also choose whether to carry dynamite, first aid, or throwing knives, and that allows the gamepad player to mix things up a bit and play differently. So I'm going to have dynamite selected, and that way I can actually throw dynamite as I'm playing. So I'm going to get started here. Let's go ahead and start the match. Alright, I'll try to play my best, but again, my character is basically brand new. I've leveled up 2 of my stats, and this is still a brand new save file for me, so I'm going to do my best, but my aiming stat is a little slow, and I am playing through OBS, so it's a little bit of an input delay. So, alright, I got a crit there. Your crits will do more damage, and to deal with the sniper, I'm switching to the SMG. And you just shoot where you see that green ball come from, the projectile. I'll switch back to my... Uh-oh. Ouch. Uh-oh. Okay. Now you see I'm trying to... Oh, I missed it. I'm trying to hit the crates. There are... Ah, I got it. So there are random crates and boxes that can spawn. And if you get those, it'll build up special attack energy. I've reloaded the wrong weapon at the wrong time, so I just wasted ammunition for my rifle. Ah, and ammunition just fell from the heavens for me, so that's great. Go ahead and pick that up, actually. Oop. There we go. Ah, I need to use my special attack. I'm in a tough spot here. I need to reload this quickly. And I'm actually using the gamepad to drag and drop dynamite so I can throw dynamite, so I can use that as a defensive tool for me. So you can see I'm trying to hit the tumors on the wolf because that allows my special attack meter to build up. Okay, that's good. So I always, in between these transitions here, I check which weapons need to be reloaded, and I think I'm alright. So I have the bear here. I'm going to aim for his tumors. Now, if you really want, you can use the SMG. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but allows you to aim for those tumors and take less, deal less damage, so it gives you a chance to really hit them. Alright, deal with the sniper in the back. Alright. Okay, and I need to reload pretty drastically here. Got him. Okay, and again, you can use the gamepad dynamite. You can throw out dynamite from the gamepad to help you. And also the minus button. See, there's a crate there. You can push the minus button on your Wii remote, and you do have some dynamite of your own. So I better reload my pistol here. So a future update of the game will show how much dynamite you have as the player. Right now it's hidden, but we'll be adding that in an update. So I have my special attack built up. Ow, I'm taking damage. I'm going to use a health item pretty soon. You can see the D-pad up shows the health drink there. So I'll be taking that pretty shortly. I'll press 1 to do my kick. Alright, I'm trying to hit those tumors there. I'm trying to get crits on the rat faces here. Okay, lucky. I spent my last round taking down that rat. So I'm all out of health items now, which is pretty rough. Okay. I need to reload drastically as well here. There we go. So I'm running low on health. Okay, these guys are coming in. I'm going to press my 1 to do a kick. And generally, your special attack will deal a significant amount of stun time to the enemies. And that will give you a chance to reload, usually at least one weapon. Okay, so I really want to reload now. Okay, this is the final wave. Right, I saw something drop over there. Build up my special attack, and I'll try to hit those tumors. Ooh, close. There we go. So hit the sniper. I didn't take him down. Okay, I press 1 because you gain invincibility when you use your special attack. So if you see that you can't stop a projectile from hitting you, or you can't stop enemies, go ahead and throw out your special attack, because that will allow you to avoid taking damage for a second. Uh-oh. Alright, that was pretty close, but I nailed it. So you can see with just my health upgraded once, and my shooting upgraded once, and I think I upgraded the power on my pistol and my SMG. So I was able to handle that mission. It was a bit tight. I had to play very carefully. I made a couple mistakes there with timing, and then I also had to use some of the dynamite from the gamepad. And also I used the dynamite from my character, as well as your character has some dynamite during the match. Go ahead and open the reward box here. Okay, that's pretty nice. I do like the thunder cannon, and I got another boring pistol. So if you get a boring weapon, here's what you can do. There's no benefit to carrying two of the same weapon, really, like carrying two pistols, unless you really enjoy that, having two pistols if your character is excellent at using pistols. But every weapon has its own utility, and there's a reason to use each weapon. So what I'm going to do is sell it. So I'm going to hold the minus button on the Wii remote, and we'll press B. And then I've sold it for 40 moose tokens. So good for me. I'm going to look at my upgrade menu. Maverick is looking straight up there. So when you have a second Wii Remote, actually sometimes the characters will look based on where the Wii Remote is. So let's go ahead and plant that there. Alright, so I have 363 Moose tokens now. So Bjorna's pistol proficiency is 120%, so it really benefits me to upgrade the damage on my pistol. So I'm going to increase the damage 1 level, so that's pretty nice. I could increase my damage level again, or I could increase my capacity. So I'll think about it. I think I'll save my Moose tokens for now. And I will go to equipment, because we saw that Thunder Cannon, which is pretty nice. For Bjorna, you can see that her electric is 90%, which is not bad, so it's usable for her, but really the characters that benefit from it are, let's see, so I'm covering Dodger, so I'll go ahead and select him. So Dodger's electric is 120%, and Rauno's is 125. So that's pretty great, so maybe I'll feel like playing Rauno later, and it's always quite fun to switch up and play different characters with different weapons and experiment with the different skill wheels. Every character is going to play differently in terms of what you can optimize in order to play best. So we have Electric Expert. Oh, that one's on there. I'm going to move that guy. So you can see that Rauno has this great skill called Electric Expert, and he boosts the power of electric weapons by 20%. And then we also have plus 10 crit rate for pistols, which is pretty nice. So there are a couple that are easy access. You know that you have a second crit rate there, which is pretty easy to access, and then a melee expert, which boosts the power of melee attacks by 50%. So you can see every character can play quite differently. He also can boost ice right there fairly easily, which is pretty nice. So this is a character that I would come back to. I would wait until I find a pretty good weapon for him. If I could find another elemental weapon, I think that would be a great way to make use of his stats, or wait for a revolver, which he's pretty good at. So I might switch back to Bjorna and just have a look. So I'm going to press something on the D-pad, any direction on the D-pad to bring up that enhance menu. And I can see I've got enough experience points. So early on, it's very good to focus on your shoot stat, because that means that you get more damage output per round on your weapons, and that's very important, and that's really what's going to allow you to actually complete the missions. If your shoot stat is not high enough, you're really going to have a tough time getting through to the end of the mission and having enough ammo. So there we go, I've increased my shoot stat, and I think I'm pretty happy with that. Now, what's also a nice benefit is how I had Dodger sitting by idly in player 2 slot. I'm just going to go ahead and open his enhanced menu, and let's see here. So he didn't actually shoot. So if I had used the second player to shoot a bit, or did I have a different character? I think I had a different character in slot 2, didn't I? You can see he has some experience points. So he didn't get that much, but he got some experience points just for sitting on standby, kind of like EXP share. If you actually have someone playing and shooting, they'll get significantly more experience points as you get points for defeating enemies. So let's see. It's not exactly enough to upgrade a shoot stat, but if I played a second round and I played as Rauno just sitting in standby, afterwards I would have enough to get an upgrade. So that's also a nice passive way to upgrade your characters. Also, there are more than 20 playable characters in this. As you connect to other Silver Falls titles with Code Linker, you'll find that you'll get more and more playable characters. The main characters from other Silver Falls games will jump into this game and become playable. And as more future titles launch as well, Silver Falls games that have not been announced but are in development, when those launch, you'll be able to take the main characters from those future Silver Falls games and add them back into Frontier Hunters. So, I hope this has been useful for you, and hopefully you all have a heap of fun with the game. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I don't have any elemental weapons, but I'll just briefly go over the utility of each weapon. So your pistol weapons are your all-rounders. Generally, they have good balance between their damage and their clip size, and they're good for dealing with pretty much every enemy in the game. Whereas your SMG, you'll generally want to save those again for popping tumors, which builds up your special attack energy, and using them defensively against snipers. Now, you have your sniper and your shotgun, which are your slow, heavy weapons. Generally, they have less capacity. Your shotgun generally has good stun time, whereas your rifle has good piercing. And those are hidden stats, but as you play the game more and you come up against a wide range of enemies, you'll find that some enemies have a bit of armor on them. And if you use the rifle on them, it will actually stun them a bit more. And you generally want to use these heavy weapons for the big enemies with high HP. When it comes to the elemental weapons, you're going to see fire, ice, and electric weapons. Now your ice weapons generally have the most amount of stun, and your fire deals the most amount of damage, while your electric weapons, like the thunder cannon I just got here for Rauno, your electric weapons are a bit of a balance between the fire and ice when it comes to stun and damage output. And again, also, it really varies based on the character that you're playing as, because their stats are so different. So, one last thing I'd like to do here is just show you how the code linker works, so that if you have the other Silver Falls titles, and if you have a favorite main character from another Silver Falls title, then you will be able to take your favorite main characters from another title and bring them into this one. So let's go ahead. And Guardians and Metal Exterminators recently relaunched on the eShop in North America for new 3DS. That's very exciting. When the game launched, there were issues, and we had to fix some things up, and especially with the listing on the eShop, there were some paperwork issues that were entirely my fault, so it took a while to get those things fixed, but we wanted to make sure the game worked as well as it possibly can. So, to celebrate that, I'll go ahead and connect up with Guardians and Metal Exterminators. So we'll go into the Extras menu, and I will select Code Linker. Alright, and you'll see an option that says Make or Enter Key Code, and it says Unlock content in this Silver Falls title. So I'll go ahead and click on that. Now, this code comes up. Oh, my green screen is enabled, isn't it? So you'll have a code. This code isn't privacy sensitive, it doesn't matter, but it won't work for you. So I want to take this code on this blue ticket, and I'm going to put this into another Silver Falls game, and that Silver Falls game will create a key code, and that yellow key code is how you get new content. So I'll go ahead and load this in, and so I will enter my code, which is BQDMP. BQDMP. And I want to connect it to Guardians and Metal Exterminators. Let's see. Okay, so I've been given the code RVFKV. Okay? And that is the yellow code, so now Guardians and Metal Exterminators, I put the blue code inside of it, it gives me a yellow code, which is the unlock code, or the key code, and so it says, enter the key code made by another Silver Falls title. So I just had Guardians and Metal Exterminators for new 3DS in North America make me that key code. So I'm going to enter that. That is RVFKV, if I've done that correctly. And once you have your code entered in there, go ahead and hit the green check mark. Great. And it says Gold Prospector. Alright. Is now available in Frontier Hunters mode. So I want to exit back into the menu here, and I'll go back to Frontier Hunters, and we'll see how that works. Now, I did say there was more than 20 playable characters. You start out with 4 in this game, and as you connect to other Silver Falls titles, more characters will become playable. But I do also have contests coming up. For the time being, it looks like we'll be running contests weekly. So please feel free to hang out with us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. And that way you won't miss out on any of the contests, as some characters will be distributed by these contests. And that will allow you to get exclusive characters well in advance, very, very early, as opposed to games that I intend to have launched a year or two from now, instead of having to wait those 2 years for me to launch that new game, you'll be able to get this character early. So for the time being, they'll be quite exclusive. So let's go ahead and open up my party member list. Oh, hello. Alright, you can see I've got a new character here. So Gold Prospector from Guardians and Metal Exterminators has shown up. So let's have a look at his stats. He has a pretty good amount of health. If you have a look at that, health is 350. When you compare that to Rauno, who hasn't leveled up his health, Rauno has 290. So you can see Gold has a pretty good amount of bulk to him. He's got, ooh, that's a pretty nice pistol stat at 130. His shotgun is not very good, his rifle's not very good, but he is great with the SMG. His bow is not great, but have a look at that electric stat. So if I get another electric weapon, I think I'd like to give that to Gold. And Gold, if you've played through Guardians and Metal Exterminators, it'll make sense to you why his electric stat is so high. His ice stat also isn't bad, as his partner in Guardians and Metal Exterminators, she was proficient with ice, so it makes sense that he would be decent with dealing with ice as well. And his fire stat is not so great. His revolver's pretty good, and his throwing stat is alright, so that's pretty good. So this is quite a good character in terms of the elemental side and using the SMG. So you're probably likely going to get to use his special attack a fair amount, since the SMG does help you trigger those special attacks. So anyway, I hope these tips have been useful to you, and if you have any more questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. If you'd like to chat and hang out and talk gaming, you can feel free to join our Discord, and you can even get some news early as we hang out and chat about all the kinds of games that we enjoy. So please look forward to the update that I'm working on for this game, White Inside Its Umbra. I'll be adding new content in terms of new mechanics for the battle system. I'll be fixing up some glitches, bringing improvements in, and hopefully optimizing and increasing performance all the way around. I really appreciate everyone for supporting White Inside Its Umbra, and it would really help me if you help spread the word about White Inside Its Umbra. Tell other gamers, because White Inside Its Umbra will not be available for a very long time. Sales on the eShop for Wii U will end March 27th. So hopefully we'll be able to reach a whole lot of gamers who will enjoy this game, and if many people pick this game up, I'll be able to keep making updates and improving the game and adding more content to it. Please stick around for the contest, as we do have some great prizes and a lot of fun to be had. So please look forward to the other games as well. And again, Guardians and Metal Exterminators has returned to the new 3DS eShop. It is exclusive to the new 3DS, and it has significant improvements with the latest update that launched today. So please take care of yourselves, and we'll see you around, and stay tuned. I'll be working on guides for the other Silver Falls titles as well. Okay, take care of yourselves. We'll see you in Silver Falls.